Hello guys. Long time no chat. Hello everybody. It has been a long time since I have sat down and got to chat with you. I just finished my first term of nursing school literally yesterday. I am free for 11 days. It is so fantastic. Today what we are doing is a little life update Q&A. I do these every once in a while. Actually, they're some of my favorite videos to film. I love getting to interact with you guys and answer your questions, and I feel like we have a lot to discuss. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions of what you guys want to know. So if you're not following me already, be sure to follow me at Kiara Madisen. Post more frequently on Instagram, so go follow me on there. Let's just jump into the questions because I feel like this could be a long video, and so I'm preparing myself. How are you adjusting to nursing school? It took me a whole semester to get into a groove. So I'm actually adjusting fairly well, I would say. You know, it's definitely like the first week of nursing school, they just hit you with so many different websites and logins and accounts that you have to create, and you're just like, whoa, this is a lot. By the time you hit week 3 or 4, you're so in the swing of like, this is what I do this day, this is what I do this day, and you're just like on the grind nonstop. The content has been really interesting to me, and I've been working hard, and it hasn't been easy by any means, but it also hasn't been as hard as I probably made it out to be. How did you handle your rejection? I'm applying for post-grad and I've been super scared. This is a really good question. If you guys watched my nursing school video, which I feel like so many of you guys are actually from that video, showing pretty much my entire journey of how I got into nursing school, I showed you some bits and pieces of rejection. I wish I filmed like even more of my rejection because that's such a real part of putting yourself out there and applying to these competitive programs. You putting so much effort into apply, and it's so hard to get that motivation to just go for it, and then to get hurt with like you're not a part of the pool. It's so normal. It still hurt. I think the biggest thing that helped me is definitely surrounding myself with a lot of other activities and people that were constantly bringing me up. So I knew, okay, if this was a really bad week, I got rejected from the school that I was interested in, but like I had XYZ to look forward to on Friday. I was definitely very motivated to just kind of have a bad day, but then turn it around and be like ready to have something better going on in my life. And the nice thing is that I like went through so much of this rejection through ski season, and I think me skiing, also working on building my plan of like what's my next step after this rejection, really helped me be like, okay, I have a plan, I'm trusting the plan, I have a plan B, C, and D. No matter what, like it's gonna go in my favor eventually. I just have to be a little bit more patient. It's so nice to watch YouTube now in 2021 where so many people are actually showing their real life experiences of the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it makes you feel so much less alone. So know you're not alone and keep working and find what is keeping you stable during this time of uncertainty. For me, that was coaching and making a plan of like what my next step would be. With the last 17 months being in a pandemic, how do you feel reflecting back on this period? That's a really good question. You know, we're almost like in the pandemic, I feel like at the very beginning again. We've kind of regressed, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I definitely can tell I am more appreciative with the time I'm spending with the people who I care about, and I definitely have like my priorities more in the right place of like, am I making decisions just because I want to, or am I thinking about like the greater good of society and making a sacrifice so that I can be safer, or do I feel comfortable in this situation or not? So I think I've just been more aware of society rather than living in my own personal bubble. So I feel like there's been a lot of like personal growth and definitely like motivation to read what's actually going on in the news. I love the need to educate myself because we are like a part of a society that's bigger than us. Sorry, there are so many cars. I tried to pick a spot to park where no one would be driving, and of course like everyone's up here. Okay, I got a lot of questions about, are you and Katie Mack still friends? What happened to Katie Mack? Like, you guys haven't been seeing her a lot on my content, so everyone's like, what happened? Is there drama? There is no drama. Katie is alive and well. I miss her so much. Katie is currently working at a horse show, so she's been having like a couple different horse show events go on during the summertime, so she's just been gone and busy a lot. So saw her for a week during her birthday and got to spend time with her then, but then she was off. So we miss Katie Mack so much, but she is gonna be back soon, and we're very proud of her. She's like working so hard, and sometimes like when I lack motivation, I think like, oh, Katie's just like really crushing today. She's so busy. Sometimes she even barely has time to text me back, but I know it's just because she's busy. Yes, she's still alive and well, and we are still besties. So many questions about living with my parents again. Like literally everyone wants to know, how's living with your parents again? How are you doing? Thank you so much for checking in on me. I really appreciate it. It hasn't been terrible. I'm so busy that a lot of times I just don't notice, and I'm very grateful for them like providing dinners for me. It's so nice just to kind of like have dinner cooked all of a sudden. As for like the motivation aspect, sometimes it's like a little bit hard. It was so funny. Someone DM'd me the other day and they were like, oh, you're back in your cave. And they're like, I don't mean that in like an insulting way, but it's like an aesthetic cave. And that is the perfect way to describe it. Like I actually live in this aesthetic cave. It's very small. It has no windows. And I spend a lot of time just studying and transferring from my loft to my bed, from my loft to my my bed. So I definitely have like felt the need to get out a little bit more and like go sit outside at a coffee shop and just kind of get away. It is really easy to like hole up in the house. How do you meal prep while living with your parents? I live with mine in college right now. Yeah, that has not been happening living at my parents. I used to be really good about that in my apartment. You guys know I would pack lunches all the time when I'd go to the mountain. Like I had my lunch packed. I still will like pack my lunches, but I have been like less good about it, especially in terms of like the meal prepping thing. I would much rather just like get a sandwich and then have one half one day and pack like snacks around it and then the other half another day. So I definitely could like improve on that. I think that's just like a transition thing anytime you're moving or in a new environment, and I will hopefully resume my meal prepping skills soon. I got a lot of questions about how I studied for this first term of nursing school. New advice for people who are starting nursing school, which I am very excited for you because I've gotten so many messages of people who are starting nursing school in fall 2021. So congratulations if that's you. You can do it. Don't be overwhelmed by the first week. It's normal to feel that way. I had like such a different study method this term, and I feel like it's going to change next term. So it'll be interesting to like document how my study method has like evolved over time. This first term, I took foundations, communications, research, and IEL, which was basically like our clinical simulation experience. So the main core theory class, if you will, was foundations. And that was a really interesting class because typically in my undergrad, I would like handwrite all my notes by hand. And then for the test, like I have a whole video, I'll link it somewhere here, of my study method of basically compiling my notes, lecture slides, the textbook, and making like this gorgeous study guide that took me hours and hours. I did not do that this term. You need to figure out how you can study for your professor and how they like to test you. So for me, the biggest thing that I needed to adjust to wasn't necessarily that like the content was super difficult. It was more the style of question. So to prepare for that, I spent a lot of time doing practice questions. First of all, to prepare for class, I would watch lectures before going to them. If your teacher does that, watch them before. Even if you're not watching like super focused, if you're kind of like cleaning your room and listening, it'll just help you be more aware of the content when you're going in class. During class, I was able just to write notes on top of my slide on Notability on my iPad, which has been so helpful. So then I was able just to write supplemental information. So I looked at the slides. I got the Saunders book that everybody recommends for NCLEX prep, and I kind of used that even starting at this first term. I would just flip to the chapter of whatever topic we're going on. And even though I don't know enough to answer like every single question, because I don't know enough about the different pharmaceutical drugs, I was able to really quiz myself and push myself with the more challenging level questions there, and then go on Quizlet and just literally search your topic and find practice questions. The other couple things that I do is just really fully immerse myself in the nursing information. So I'd spend a lot of time watching YouTube channels and listening to podcasts. I really should make like a whole video about how different resources that I recommend. So I'm just going to save that for something else. But that is basically how I study. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how my studying evolves. But that's basically what I did this term. Have I made a lot of friends in nursing school? That's also funny. One of my nursing school friends was like, who are your favorite people in nursing school? Yes, I have made friends, you guys. I was so worried. Literally have like the nicest little squad of Erica, Sophia, if you're watching this. Honestly, my whole cohort is so close. It is so interesting to go from U of O, which is such a big school, to a cohort of, I think there's like 54 of us or 57 of us. And then in my specific class this summer term, we only really surrounded ourselves with half of that group. So really being around a class of 25, you know pretty much everyone's name, which is really cool. Nice just to like go through it together. Oh, I love this question because I got a lot of questions kind of surrounding these general topics. Where would you like to be in 1 year, career-wise, living, etc.? So I will literally be graduating nursing school a year from like right now, which is absolutely wild. I am in an accelerated program. So for those of you who don't know what that means every single person in our program already has a prior degree. And we were able to take these prereqs that essentially transfer in and basically account for like the first 2 years of a normal 4-year degree nursing program. And because we have class in the summertime, that's why it's only like 15 months instead of like a full 2-year school year type of deal, because I get a lot of questions about that. So yes, my program is fast. You get in there and you get out. A year from now, I hope to be in my own apartment again. I hope to have a plan of when I'm going to take my NCLEX, which is the test that I have to pass to become a registered nurse. And I hope to also be in a new graduate residency program somewhere. Like, I don't even want to put expectations out there because I don't know, I like have watched some people go through this experience, and for some it's like so easy to match to a residency program, but then I've also heard like horror stories about how difficult it was to get in the right specialty. So many of you guys are in the nursing school / profession. If you guys have any advice for me of stuff that I should know now, I maybe would start looking like after I finish 2nd or 3rd term of nursing school for like the programs. Let me know. And if you're in Oregon, please let me know anything I need to know about nurse residency programs in Oregon and it's competitive and what it's like. Tips, tricks, you guys are literally the best. so thank you so much. I got a lot of questions about when are you going to start looking for apartments? When are you moving out? I don't want to like set a date and put myself in a box and then feel like I have to like hold on to this expectation that I've like put out to the public of, oh, I'm moving out in this month or this month. But I think I've decided that I'm going to reevaluate in January. I can hopefully survive like through the holidays with my parents, and then in January I will have the entire month off. So I'm planning on ski coaching again, and maybe that will be the time where I feel like, okay, I want to move. I have this time off. I can kind of get settled, but maybe I'll be like, honestly, I'm still saving money and I feel so poor. So I'll just want to continue living with my parents and then reevaluate when I like literally can't take it anymore. So that is my current plan, but we shall see. Something that I wish I would have known before starting nursing school. I think I assumed this, but I wish I would have known how valuable my CNA experience was. Like I knew it was going to be helpful, but I didn't realize like how valuable it is when you're in these skills labs, and things that are taught like in a CNA program are taught much more in depthly, and you have so many different times to practice it versus nursing school where like maybe you'll get a chance to practice once in the sim lab and then all of a sudden it's like on you to go watch YouTube videos or practice with simulated equipment at home, and then you have to be tested on it. I think nursing school just opened my eyes to like how valuable that experience truly was and how obvious it was, which everyone told me this. Everyone's like, the professors know like who's had CNA experience and who hasn't, but like literally the professors know. How do I handle my hard days? Everyone is different. You have to figure out what works for you. Sometimes I would like literally just put myself to bed early and I'm like, you just need to sleep. Like you're going crazy. This is a tomorrow issue. When you are well rested and well fed, you'll come back and you'll try again, and like today wasn't your day. You're gonna have those days. I think it's a lot of like knowing yourself and knowing what you need. Sometimes that means like buying yourself a smoothie after school because you just really had it, bringing your favorite snack to class so that you get through a 5-hour lecture. Just really planning ahead. It's so important to know yourself and know what works for you. Not that you can't lean on others, because I definitely did, and that was like another one of my coping mechanisms, is to call and FaceTime my friends, and everyone has been so supportive this term. So if you are in my personal life, huge shout out. Thank you so much for being like so supportive and celebrating my wins and reminding me that like I can still do it even on my rough days. So yeah, big tip, know yourself and surround yourself with awesome people. Oh my gosh. Okay, of course, every single Q&A we have to answer the dating question. How has dating been while in nursing school? Do you have a Hinge? Do you have dating apps? What has the dating scene been like? Initially, like when I got into nursing school, I was kind of like, oh, such a bummer. I'm gonna lose another 1.5 years of my life of not getting to put myself out there and be dating people because I'm gonna be so busy, which is semi-true. Like that definitely kind of was a back burner item. My amazing friends have told me to get on dating apps. So yes, I do have dating apps and I will occasionally go on there. The problem is I have a really hard time getting motivated to actually have conversations with people. So I more have the dating app and it sits there, and then I'll like some people and match, and they'll say something and I'm like literally exhausted from my day that I don't even want to have a conversation back. But I am trying to be better and I'm trying to put myself out there, and I need to say yes more. It's also hard because like we're in a pandemic and meeting up with strangers right now just feels like a little bit weird to me. I don't know. Someone needs to like hype me up in the comments and be like, you can do it, go on a date. Or if like you know someone who would be a good match with me, let me know, because I don't want another 1.5 years to go by. And the other bummer is that pretty much 70% of my cohort is married. Like everyone is older than me. So I'm definitely not gonna find my husband in my program. Oh, this is a really good question. How do I work through imposter syndrome? Which also kind of goes along with like a question about testing anxiety, because I feel like my imposter syndrome comes in like right before I'm about to go into my clinical checkoffs. That's where I feel like I notice it the most. You're always gonna be nervous and it's so hard. Luckily, my program is like very supportive about mental health. You have to do your 30 seconds of centering, where either like you stand there for 30 seconds and you center yourself and kind of like calm your body down, take deep breaths, or you tell your instructor basically what you did to center yourself that morning and like get you in the right mood. So this term I use a lot of music. I have a whole test day pump up playlist, hypes me up and gets me in the you can do this mood. And then my parents always use this phrase, assume the sale. I just kind of assume the sale of being a nurse. So much of the first term of nursing is just acting. You're going into the simulation. You have to go act out this experience with a mannequin, and it's very hard to like get into it. So you just pretend you are in an acting class. I don't know if this is necessarily an imposter syndrome trick, but I can definitely tell that when I have imposter syndrome, little things will tend to slip through the cracks because I'm nervous and I don't feel my head is fully in the game. So whenever I know I'm nervous, I'm just kind of going through the motions. I take a step back and I just stand there and stare like at the patient room and the whole situation. And I kind of go through a mental checklist to be like, is the bed lowered? Is the curtain pulled back? Like, is the patient in a safe position? Did I give the call light? Did I hand hygiene? Just so I don't miss any of those simple, easy things that are so easy to miss. this, and it cut me off because clearly I've been talking too much. I know this video is so long, so I'm just gonna answer a couple more. What is a high and low from this past month? My high has been, I guess this just happened yesterday. I did very well on my final and my final clinical skills checks. That was definitely a high, how well those went. And then I think a low is dealing with some stuff in my personal life, which I'm not gonna get into like too many details about now because one, I'm in like a really positive mindset, and two, some of the stuff just isn't mine to share. Maybe one day I will share it with you. I've dealt with some bad news this term. That's definitely been a low, but it's been reassuring to know that I can keep going and I can keep pushing through even when those other things that are going on in my life are distracting me from school. I'm still able to get my stuff done and not let it weigh me down. Yeah, nobody's life is perfect. Here's your daily reminder that just because I showed the good parts of my life doesn't mean that I'm immune to bad things happening in my life. For the most part, I've got a really positive mindset. Nursing school has really showed me that you got to somehow return to your baseline positivity, even if that means you take some dips. Maintaining back at the positive level is the key to continue on, because otherwise it's so easy to get yourself just deep into this hole where you feel like your world is crumbling beneath you. But you gotta really think about some great things that are going on in your life too. What is helping you stay focused with your homework? A little bit of like candy bribing, I'm not gonna lie. Is a furnish my room all over again kind of video coming soon? Oh my god, you know me so well. That is coming soon and I'm so excited about it. Oh my god, why are you and Katie not so close anymore? We're literally so close. We're in a long distance relationship right now. Any plans for next ski season? I hope to just be skiing so much. I did hear from one of the students that's a couple semesters ahead that third term they were able to be very productive and have their weekends essentially off. So I'm kind of banking on that. If I can get my stuff done third term after my 6-week long break in the winter, I can hopefully still be skiing on those weekends. The last question that I'm going to answer is about nursing specialties. I guess this has just turned into a nursing Q&A, and I guess it'll be kind of fun to come back and watch this video and reflect on what I'm saying, which is why I'm going to answer this question of what nursing specialties are you thinking about? I'm so curious to see where I actually end up. Right now, my list is, it's always been pediatrics, so that's still on my list. I've always said oncology, especially after my CNA 2 clinicals. I was on an oncology floor on med-surg and in surgical, and I had a really great experience there. I would maybe do peds oncology, and I've also considered NICU more recently, and I've always been interested in the cardiovascular system, so maybe something, I don't know, I don't want to say CVICU, but like maybe something with the heart. I still have said no OB. I think it'll be a great rotation for me and I'm gonna love it, but I'm gonna be like, that's just not for me. I'd rather just work with the kids. If you have any other burning questions, per usual, I will answer them down below. And then the other thing I want you guys to comment are different video ideas. I definitely feel I let the YouTube slack a little bit this past term, which I think was just more of an adjustment to school thing, but now I'm hyped to share more of my journey and experience that I want to film what you guys want to see. So if you have any video ideas or suggestions, leave them down below. This week I'm like planning out all the videos for the entire term. Continue to give me updates on your life. I want to hear what you're up to. That's going to be the question of the day. What's an update in your life? Give me something that you're proud of or you're looking forward to that's happening. I love you guys so much. Give this video a thumbs up for more content. You guys are the best. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
I mean, you know I ain't lying, 'cause I hate wasting time. You said soon we'll be leaving this place, no life to find. How you been looking hella fine, I was still making up my mind.